onefootflipper.
Hi, Paige here, One Foot Flipper. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bummed out this morning. It's Friday morning, and I saw my prosthesis yesterday, and I'm going to need a new knee. My knee has failed. Do I have it here? Here, I'm going to go get it and come back. Alright, did you miss me? Alright. This thing here is supposed to give a lot of resistance. I should barely be able to move this on my own when it's not on. And instead it's some internal seal or something has failed and it's not working right. I can still walk on it right now, but it's dicey. It's going to make me fall down eventually. And I'm going to need to replace that. And one bad thing about reselling is that it doesn't come with health insurance. I have health insurance from the marketplace, which I pay an exorbitant amount of money for a plan that's bad until you spend a lot of money. So basically, no matter what I do, this is going to be $7,000 because that's my max out of pocket, and I'm going to end up hitting my max out of pocket no matter what choices I make. So I'm a little bit bummed out about that. That's going to put me months and months behind on my new house goal. And these knees only have a 2-year warranty. This is the second time this one's failed. The first time it failed while it was still under warranty, so it got replaced, but they don't reset the warranty when they give you the new one. And now it's failed again, and now I gotta get a new one. And how many Beanie Baby trading cards would I have to sell to not only pay my $6,000 health insurance for the year, but also the almost $8,000 out of pocket for that? Even if I add a few Studio 54 records, not going to get there. So that is just a little bit depressing. So I guess all I can really do is either double down or give up. If I gave up, all this health stuff would be free. If I decided to be a bum and not make a dime, I would be completely covered by the government. But instead, I'm working as hard as I can, and I'm paying out a lot for it because I am. All right, we'll come back in a bit with something a little bit less depressing, okay? So, do y'all think DVDs are ever going to come back? I don't think they will, but I didn't think vinyl would come back either. All in all, I'm bearish about just about every type of physical media except for video game cartridges. Because I feel like the future generations who grew up without physical media aren't going to care about it. They're not going to want this record or a DVD, even worse, or a VHS tape. 20 years from now, those kids aren't going to want that stuff. So I treat most all physical media as it's a perishable item. I would prefer to sell it as fast as possible, not let it hang around for years, which is hard to do with some of it because some of it moves really slowly. And the reason why in video games I say cartridges only is because the disc-based systems are much less reliable, and they're just not going to be easily accessible or around in the future. And most of those games for the disc-based systems have PC releases or re-releases for new consoles, and the game's more accessible than on the cartridge-based ones, where you either have to have the emulator which isn't, even though it works just fine, but it's not the official release. So many more choices for official releases with the disc-based stuff than with the cartridge-based stuff. All right, I've got some more records to list. No DVDs to list, though, because I don't sell those anymore. All right, let's do a few sales. Most of my stock is in the basement where the filming area is, but there's some stuff that's up here. The cards are up here, but I usually don't show those. Although I did sell about $150 in high-end cards yesterday, which was nice. Sold this Stephen King, Richard Bachman, The Regulators, 1996, first edition. Sold this for $13.49. I believe this was a $1 garage sale pickup. It did take quite a bit to sell, though, because I think I listed this originally right as COVID prices were falling off, so people, and it got relisted a few times till at cheaper prices till it finally sold. See this little guy in a blister pack? What would you think this guy's worth? $5? Something like that, maybe 3, 10 if it's good. Nope. This Flames of War U.S. recovery vehicle, it's kind of like some sort of tank thing. $40.49. That is why I love this sort of stuff, because when you buy this sort of stuff, it doesn't look like it's $40. Doesn't look like it's $40 to the person you buy it from. Looks like $1. And thus, you can make huge profits on this stuff when you can find it. Sold 2 other Flames of War vehicles, $17.99 each, to the same buyer. Bought them in 2 transactions separately during the daytime. Don't know what's up with that, but a lot of people do it. And finally, of the upstairs items, sold Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for $7.39 for the GameCube. This reminds me, I need to list my GameCube because I only have 1 game left now, and if that sells, I won't be able to take a video of the GameCube working. So I better get to listing that real soon. All right, see you back downstairs. Hey, funny I was talking about medical things when the start of this video, because last night because I am such a fit and great example of humanity who's very able, managed to fall out of bed and land directly on my stump. So I'm not going to be able to walk for days because it's all swollen up. It's not broken or anything like that, but I won't be able to get that prosthetic leg on for a little while. And it really, really hurts. Sold this Fairway wood cover, Cobra S2, $8.99. My daughter found this at the bins. So far the things she found on the last bin trip have sold better than the things that I found on the last bin trip. Sold this Atari Basic cartridge for the Atari 400-800 computers. This one I could actually see somebody using, because usually people who do mess around with those old computers, they write basic programs. I sold what is my last tray of tanks. This one started at $100 and got lowered 10% every 10 days until it finally got down to what did it get down to? $27.91. I have no more trays of tanks left. I have other wargaming stuff, but no more trays of tanks left. And all right, I'll see you downstairs in a minute. All right, we've made it down in the basement. Let's take a look at a few sales from down here. Got a My Little Pony the Movie playmat. Comes with a hard protective tube. I usually bundle the tubes with the most valuable playmats, although I think this one actually came in it since there's a piece of paper in there. This sold for $24.29 plus shipping. Got 1 more of these left if there are any bronies out there. Sold this 47-piece generic fantasy miniatures, Greek theme. These were board game parts that you could order from the manufacturer a few years back, and I actually was sourcing these for the gaming store that I worked at because they were selling very well on our website. I was buying them from that place for $2 or $3, and at one point I think we were selling them for $20, although eventually the price on them dropped off. Somehow I ended up with this one. I actually got it from somebody who got it from the store, and sold it for $7.99. Ralston Purina brand checks playing cards, sealed pack, $5.24. That was probably a quarter. Might have even been in a free bin. You know, not big money, but I love stuff like that because it lists in 10 seconds, and then it can just go into one of my boxes that hold smaller items and sit there forever until it sells. And if it never sells, I don't really care. All right, next thing we got is, what do we got here? War Game Sprue. This incomplete piece of plastic sold for $9.99 plus shipping. Yeah, there could be money even in the junk. Although this one's not junk. $26.99. Van Halen 1984 in nice shape. Went for $26.99 to a repeat buyer. I don't think the repeat buyer is a viewer. Most of my repeat buyers are just people who are buying the same thing over and over again, not people who are viewers. I don't think I've had a viewer sale in weeks, which is just fine. You don't have to buy my stuff. I got 3 records going out to the same customer, although one of them's free. Got Wang Chung and Al Stewart going out for a total of $10 plus shipping. Yeah, small money. And then customers getting Helen Ready for free because I messed up their last order. I sent them the wrong Helen Ready album. I didn't know I had more than one. But sometimes I use opportunities like that just to try to make another sale. I said, hey, the easiest way we could solve this is why don't you just keep that mistake and I'll pull that other Helen Ready album for you and I'll send it to you on your next order. That way it works out good for all of us. And they didn't hear back from them for about 3 days, and then they made an order and messaged me to be sure to include the other album. So I turned a mistake into another sale. All right, pretend I have this in front of us. Nazareth. Close enough for rock and roll. $6.95. I may not even pop that on the screen. If I don't have anything else to pop up, I'm not going to pop that one up. It's just a record album. If you really want to see what it looks like, you can look it up. Vintage Rocks. Sold for $7.99. These compilation albums of just various stuff, these are often put out by radio stations. These have been selling for me much better than I thought they would. I thought they would be junk, but apparently a lot of people just want to get a record they can just play all the way through and not have to skip the bad tracks or listen to the bad tracks. All right. Sold a Funko Pop Back to the Future. Whole $6.87. Funko Pop's going down. I think I've only got 4 left from that Back to the Future buy, but if I don't sell the big one soon, I'm going to lose money on them. Got a message about the big one today, which I believe I started at $110 and now it's down to $75. Still got the cheapest one on eBay, but I got a message from an out-of-country buyer in Europe, basically demanding extra packing on the item and demanding that it's perfect. And I look and they've got a history of leaving bad feedback, and I didn't even think I had shipping open to Europe at all. I blocked them immediately, not dealing with them. I separately had a different message from another out-of-country Funko Pop person today, but that is actually a viewer who I've been in contact with before. They're in Canada. Unrelated. I'm only mentioning that because I don't want you to think I was talking about you. Funko Pop Nation, you're great. I did not block you. This was somebody else. All right. Steely Dan. Can't buy a thrill. But what I can buy is several Big Macs with the $23.75 this brought, or less than 1% of what that new prosthetic leg is going to cost, or just knee. Yeah, less than 1% of the deductible. Couple of wooden stamps, $7.58. Don't buy these. These are bad. Just because I finally managed to sell some doesn't mean that they got good. Seems like every other type of stamping and crafting stuff is good, but the wooden stamps thing is just over. People don't want them. They're slow. Sold this Warhammer figure for $14.99. I love these because when you buy collections, a lot of times they only average out to be 25 or 50 cents per figure, or even less. Seems like the bigger the collection is, the cheaper the overall stuff is, because just as the overall offer gets higher and higher, it seems to disconnect from the amount of items. One of the last big collections I bought took almost 3 van loads to take home, and it was $3,000. And it's just, when you get into the really big amount of items, it's really just hard to estimate what's even there. All right, we got anything else? Got a Little Rascals Stymie bobblehead. I'm gonna have to pop this up on the screen, not taking it out of the package. It went out to the repeat buyer who bought Stymie's friend in my last video. They said they got the other one, loved it, wanted to buy this one too. And in this case, I couldn't have saved them any on combined shipping, even if they had bought them together, because that thing weighs 15 pounds, 9 ounces. I'm barely able to get, I can just barely get a poly bag on it and slap the label on it before it goes to first class. Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick, One Song Scratched, $3.99. And it's out of there. I'm going to say a preemptive goodbye that I might end up editing out later. It depends on whether or not this video has any more segments. Let me know how your sales are doing. Give me some comments. I have not gotten as many comments lately as I used to. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you're doing. Just anything. Hope to see you again soon.